Part 1, the first look of doubt. You don't have what it takes to succeed. There are words that stick with you not because they're true, but because they hurt. And sometimes pain is the only thing strong enough to awaken the fire within us. That was exactly what happened to Kun, a young man as ordinary as they come. Not a prodigy, not born with silver spoons, not even someone you'd notice in a crowd. No privilege, no early victories, no natural spotlight. Just Kun, quiet, unremarkable, unseen. But one moment changed everything. A sentence, cold and sharp like glass. You don't have what it takes to succeed. It wasn't said by an enemy. It wasn't shouted in anger. It came casually from someone close. Someone who thought they were just being honest. Someone who believed they knew Kun well enough to make that call. They didn't see potential in him. No outstanding talent. No leadership aura. No spark. Just another average person in a world that only applauds the extraordinary. Kun could have broken. He could have believed it. That's the real danger of judgment. Not just that others say you'll fail, but that you start to believe them. But Kun didn't snap. He didn't scream back. He didn't try to prove anything with words. He simply went quiet. He stopped sharing his dreams. Not because he gave up on them, but because he realized dreams don't need to be displayed like trophies. They need to be protected, nurtured, sheltered from voices that try to crush them before they're born. And so Kun made a choice. A quiet rebellion. No grand declarations. No social media announcements. Just quiet, consistent action. While others chased shortcuts and applause, Kun began his silent journey. Each morning he woke earlier than the sun. While others scrolled through endless content, he read, studied, practiced. Not for show, not for praise, but because he knew excellence is built when no one's watching. Every repetition, every lesson, every failure faced alone. He wasn't looking for validation. He didn't need anyone to cheer him on. He had heard the world's opinion of him loud and clear. Now, he wanted to let his results do the talking. Because results, real, undeniable results, have a power no voice can silence. In this silence, something powerful was born. Resilience, discipline, clarity. Kun began to change, not on the outside. No dramatic makeover, no viral moment. The change was internal, subtle, strong. He developed an unshakable belief that greatness isn't about being extraordinary in the eyes of others. It's about becoming better than you were yesterday, every single day. Kun understood something most people overlook. Success doesn't come from big leaps. It comes from small, quiet steps repeated over time. Steps no one celebrates, no one sees, and no one believes will make a difference until they do. For months, no one mentioned Kun's name. For years, no one invited him to the table. But slowly, quietly, things began to shift. The seeds he had planted in the dark began to sprout. Not in explosions of success, but in steady, unshakable growth. When people finally looked back and asked, "How did you get here?" Kun just smiled. There was no magic, no genius, just the courage to stay the course when everyone else said it wouldn't matter. Just the strength to walk alone when no one else believed. And here's the truth. The loudest power is often the weakest. True power, the kind that transforms lives, is quiet, patient, persistent. It doesn't need to prove itself every day. It just keeps going. Kun didn't need to argue with the ones who doubted him. Life answered for him. Every result, every improvement, every silent victory. Until one day, the very people who said, "You don't have what it takes," came back asking for his advice. Maybe Kun wasn't born to succeed easily, but he chose to succeed anyway, by walking the longer, lonelier path. by showing up when no one asked, by believing in something invisible, the compound power of daily effort. It's not flashy, it's not viral, but it's real. And it works. This is the silent power that changes everything, the power that lives in those who don't need the spotlight because they've lit a fire within themselves that never goes out. Part 2. The lonely early days, a journey walked alone. There's a kind of warrior who wears no armor, wields no sword, and never steps onto a battlefield under the roar of a cheering crowd. This kind of warrior quietly opens their eyes before dawn, pulls themselves out of a warm bed while the world is still asleep. And they begin their day not with applause, but with a heavy silence of 4 blank walls. Kun was one of those warriors. He woke up at 5 a.m. every single day. No one called him. No one reminded him. No one joined him. While the world outside remained in slumber, Kun poured himself a glass of warm water, took a deep breath, and began studying, reading, exercising, reflecting, improving. No one saw it. No one noticed. No one praised him. There were no spotlights, just a young man quietly sharpening himself in the dark. The early days were painfully lonely. There were no peers to share progress with. No social media posts to show off a morning routine. No words of encouragement. No one asked, "Are you okay?" He was utterly alone. Alone with the doubts of others, and sometimes the doubts within himself. Because the hardest part isn't starting. It's starting. It's continuing. It's doing the same unseen things over and over again. It's staying disciplined even when results are invisible. It's waking up and feeling like you're getting nowhere, yet choosing to move forward anyway. Kun had days like that. Many. Too many. There were moments he questioned himself. Am I fooling myself? Why am I trying so hard when nobody even notices? But every time those doubts crept in, he remembered the look in someone's eyes. The one who once said, "You don't have what it takes to succeed." That sentence became a silent fire, not to breed hatred, but to fuel purpose. Not to prove others wrong, but to prove to himself that he was strong enough, persistent enough, resilient enough to walk alone. And so, each day, Kun repeated his solitary routine. No miracles happened. No breakthrough moments. Just small changes. So small, he barely noticed them himself. Until one day, when he looked back, he realized he was no longer the same boy. He read faster, understood deeper. His body was stronger. His thinking was sharper. His voice was steadier. No one had witnessed the transformation. But it had happened, little by little, stacked quietly over countless mornings. It was in those seemingly meaningless days that Kun was rebuilding himself, from a boy dismissed by others to a warrior forged by discipline. Every silent morning carved a new edge, like a sculptor chiseling away at raw stone. No one sees the masterpiece in the beginning. Only the artist does, and Kun, he was the artist of his own becoming. You see, in a world obsessed with being seen, with showcasing every achievement, it takes real courage to walk a quiet path. Because there will be no claps, no guarantees, no instant rewards. Just faith, just discipline, just the daily decision to show up even when no one is watching. That's the hardest kind of battle, the one without an audience, the one where your only opponent is yourself, the one where you train in silence while the world sleeps. But when the real fight begins, only those who sharpen their blades in the dark will be ready to rise. Kun wasn't special. And maybe that's exactly why he had to try harder, to go farther. And he did. Day after day, hour by hour, in solitude, in silence. Because he understood a truth few are willing to face. If you can win the battle against yourself every single day, Nothing in the world can defeat you. Daily effort is a silent form of battle. No witnesses, no applause, but it reshapes who you are from the inside out. You don't need to be seen today. You just need to not give up, because light always finds those who keep walking through the dark. Part 3. The quiet journey of building. Discipline as the foundation. Some things are invisible to the young and often forgotten by the old. Time always sides with the disciplined. Kun understood this truth, deeply, quietly, and without needing to announce it to anyone. He didn't transform after a week, nor a month, nor even 3 months. His transformation came after 3 years of consistent effort, 3 years of waking up early, 3 years of repeating the same habits, reading, writing, exercising, thinking, building, without glory, without attention, without applause. While his friends slowly changed course, some dropped out, others chased shortcuts, many moved on to easier things. Kun stayed. He stayed like an architect digging the foundation for a skyscraper. No one around could see it, but he could. In his mind, he already saw the structure rising, steady, unshakable. Each day was built on small actions. Just one more page, one more rep, one more sentence written. Nothing extraordinary on its own. But he understood. Repetition with discipline creates something powerful. A single drop of water may seem insignificant, but millions of drops can carve through stone. No one clapped for him. No one even knew. But that didn't matter. Because Kun wasn't chasing approval. He was building something far more lasting. Trust in himself. That rare kind of trust that comes only when you know without a doubt that you will show up for yourself, no matter what. Someone once asked Kun, "How do you stay motivated every single day?" He smiled and replied, "I'm not. I'm disciplined." Because he knew motivation comes and goes. But discipline stays. Discipline is the choice to keep doing the right thing, even when no one's watching, even when no one cares. It's the silent contract you sign with yourself. That your dreams are worth the effort, even when the world is silent. Success doesn't arrive in explosions of applause. It comes in whispers, in the 1,000 quiet mornings, in the moments you could give up but don't, in the invisible hours when no one is clapping but you keep going anyway. Maybe right now, no one sees you. Maybe no one understands why you keep pushing. That's okay. You're not here to impress the world. You're here to build something that lasts. And the greatest buildings are never built in the spotlight. They're built underground, in the foundations, brick by brick, with quiet hands and relentless discipline. So build. Build like Kun. Not for the applause, not for the likes. Build because you know what you're becoming. And one day, the world will see what you've built. But more importantly, you'll see who you've become. Discipline isn't glamorous. It's like building the foundation of a house. No one sees it, but it's the only thing strong enough to hold up the castle. Keep showing up. Keep building. Because in silence, greatness takes shape. Part 4. Success comes without warning, but never by chance. There was no bell to announce the turning point. No applause from the crowd, no praise from strangers, no dazzling lights to mark the shift. Success walked in quietly, like an old friend who had been waiting outside for years. And this time, it was ready to open the door. For Kun, after 3 relentless years of silent effort, that day finally arrived. No one could recognize the boy who was once dismissed, underestimated, and ignored. No one remembered the times he passed through life's moments unnoticed and uncelebrated. Now, Kun had built his own career, a foundation he laid brick by brick with his bare hands and unshakable will. He had a voice people listened to, a presence others respected, and validation from those who once doubted him. But what startled people most was not what Kun had achieved, but how sudden it all seemed. They looked at his success and wondered aloud, "How did you do it? What's the secret?" They imagined he had discovered a brilliant new strategy, stumbled upon some overnight trick, or caught a lucky break at just the right time. They saw only the result and built stories around it to make themselves feel that maybe, just maybe, they could have it too, if only luck would visit them. But what they did not know, or perhaps chose to forget, was that Kun had been waking up at dawn for 3 years straight, while the rest of the world still slept. They never saw the quiet hours of self-study, the silent mornings of physical training, the lonely nights of writing and working when no one watched or cared. They did not see the internal battles Kun fought, the nights he questioned whether he was wasting his time, the mornings he ran through the cold wondering if it was all worth it. They saw the result, but not the journey. They saw the now, but not the thousands of silent yesterdays that shaped it. The truth is that success never comes as a surprise. It does not fall from the sky. It is the slow accumulation of invisible effort, the repeated commitment to small, boring tasks that others avoid, the courage to make the right choice in the absence of witnesses or applause. It is the reward for believing in something no one else can yet see. Kun did not become successful overnight. He became successful because he did not quit on the 1,000 nights before that, and because he never chased the spotlight, never demanded recognition. When success finally arrived, he was ready, not to brag, but to live in alignment with the person he had quietly become. Success does not come to those who wait for it. It comes to those who have already prepared to carry it. And that preparation does not lie in books or strategies, but in every small decision, in every quiet moment of doubt, where the answer is to keep going. That is why truly successful people rarely speak loudly about their journey, because they know that anyone who still needs to ask for the secret is probably not ready for the truth. And the truth is not glamorous. It is simple. Daily discipline, unwavering focus, and the decision to show up when no one's watching. Then one day, you realize you no longer need success to prove anything, because the journey itself, the person you've become through it, is the strongest evidence there is. At that point, you stop chasing success. You've become someone it naturally follows. Part 5. The silent power. No need to prove anything. There doesn't need a kind of power that makes no sound. It doesn't need to shout out loud that I'm trying. It doesn't need to be posted online for validation or applause. This is the silent power. It doesn't explode like fireworks. It flickers like a candle in the quiet darkness. It shows up when you wake up early while the world is still asleep. It lives in those hours when you work even when no one is watching, in the moments when you act while others are still just talking. It is in the days when you feel tired, but still choose not to quit. In the hours you push yourself to study just a bit more, to read one more page, to improve one small detail that no one else would ever notice. These small invisible actions, repeated every single day, slowly reshape who you are from the inside out. You become more disciplined, more grounded, not because someone told you to, but because you chose it for yourself. You no longer need recognition to feel your worth. You realize that real strength isn't in the things people show off. It isn't in fame or applause. It lies in the things you do when no one is watching, when no one claps, when no one even knows. And sometimes, even when you yourself wonder if it's worth it, you still keep going. Because deep down, you know these are the moments that are quietly building your life. Quietly but powerfully, you are becoming someone others cannot even imagine. And the most beautiful part is, you don't need to prove that to anyone. Because eventually, the change within you will shine on its own. No need to shout. No need to explain. Just keep walking with that silent power burning steadily inside you. One day, the world will notice. But by then, you will no longer need them to. Maybe today, you're just an ordinary, unknown person. Maybe no one cares how hard you're trying. No one sees you waking up before dawn, working late into the night, silently pushing forward even when every part of you wants to give up. They don't see it. But you do. You know that every small step you take, every choice you make to keep learning, every day you choose discipline over comfort, it's all shaping you into someone stronger. You don't need recognition. You don't need applause or compliments, because you understand that real success doesn't come from luck. It's born from the silent battles no one else sees. And then one day, without warning, success will speak for you. You won't need to explain anything. Your life will be the answer. Your eyes will hold the depth of someone who has endured. Your voice will carry the weight of someone who has conquered themselves. You won't need to prove a thing, because your journey will shine on its own. If what you heard today resonates with you, if you're walking this quiet path of self-growth, remember, you are not alone. Kunzy Podcast English is here with you every day to learn, grow, and rise together. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Kunzy Podcast English. Let's walk this journey not alone, but side by side, with quiet strength, unwavering spirit, and unstoppable momentum.